All right, we'll do it. We'll talk about the elephant in the room. Yes, men and women are different physically. Yes, that is a common answer as to why men and women don't play sports together. Here's the thing. It's not the right one. Give me a chance to explain why. Yes, men and women naturally have differences in size, strength, speed, and other physical characteristics. But here's the thing. A similar variation is true in most team sports. Wide receivers are generally very different physically than linemen. A point guard is often physically very different than a center. So let's think about this for a second. There's already physical variation in sports. Surely a society that can put a man on the moon, a supercomputer in the palm of your hand, and even put a ramen cooker on your doorstep after you ordered it 4 hours ago, can figure out how to design a game that accounts for a few physical differences. There's a lot of smart people in the world. Don't you think we could figure that out?
Eureka!
Yes, they can! If that was the only issue at hand, men and women would have been playing sports together hundreds of years ago. Okay. So if that's true, what's the real issue here? Let me tell you. I'm about to reveal it. That's right. Outdated societal norms. Fortunately, it's very rooted in our society that men and women's physical performances should be separate. And more specifically, men's sports are the ones that matter. That concept probably shouldn't take a lot of convincing, but let's take a little step back in time. The very first Olympics were only men. Married women weren't even allowed to attend the games. At that time in history, it was still a common belief that men were the dominant gender and females should fall in line. Fast forward to today. Female sports exist, thankfully, but look at all the popular sports you see on TV today. In particular, team sports. Quick, think of the top 5 household names when it comes to sports stars right now. Here are a few common options that you might have thought of. This is why the vast majority of sports stars today probably stand up to pee. In a society that is so focused on equality, don't you think that's a little outdated? Hold on a second, got something important to say. I'm about to make a bold statement. Might make you a little upset out there. If that doesn't seem outdated to you, there's a really good chance that you are a man that has a lot of your self-worth wrapped up in the idea that men are better than women.
Ouch!
Okay, that's a big generalization, but you get what I'm saying. We do life together. There's not one gender better than the other. It doesn't... Okay, so let's think a second. What would it be like in a world where men and women did play together on team sports? I've kind of thought a little bit about this. First, why do you put your child in sports? Beyond assisting them in developing physical abilities, sports teaches essential life skills around competition, humility, teamwork, leadership, communication, strategy, the list goes on and on. I don't have to convince most people of this because it's a very common thing to put kids in sports. The breadth of those skills developed in a single gender sport is limited. Women and men are different emotionally too, so adding the dynamic of difference in emotion only enhances all of those skills that are learned. Players on a team sport are forced to come together and understand each other a little bit better so they can come together as a team and put forth their best performance. This dynamic between men and women or boys and girls is so valuable. Think about that for a second. So if the goal of putting your kids in sports is to help better set them up for life, don't you think giving them the ability to overcome the differences between men and women might be valuable? That might be kind of valuable. It just might, you know? The way the world is today, with men and women doing life together. It just might be valuable, you know? If we're gonna do life together, why not do sports together? That just makes sense! Let's think about this from another angle. Right now, the vast majority of sports fans are male. I wonder why? There's only dudes to look up to on these teams. Females just aren't as likely to get into the male sports stars of today because there's less to relate to, there's less to feel a connection about. Okay, picture this. Imagine a world where an entire family comes together all equally excited about a sporting event and their favorite players. How much fun would that be? But wait, there's more. One of the reasons we watch sports is for the drama, the human story, the human element of the sport that goes on. No better demonstration of this than reality sports shows like 30 for 30 and Hard Knocks coming out demonstrating just this. The storylines around the sport with both genders are simply better. There are so many reasons for this, but think about this. If men and women are together on the same team, in the locker room, competing together, battling through adversity together, there's naturally going to be more frequent romantic relationships that come out of sports. But think about what happens when you have that dynamic as a part of team sports. It adds to the drama and how interesting it is. Basically, it's the Super Bowl and the Bachelorette combined into one. Hold on, I got one more mind-blowing thing to share with you before I let you go. There's already a team sport that exists that has men and women on the same team.
What?
This sports YouTube channel is hosting this video right now. Go check it out.